Hey everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Movies for Life YouTube channel. And welcome to this modern horror movie review video. So in this video we're going to take a look at a movie all the way back in 2011. And that movie is, I have on DVD here, the Ty West film, The Innkeepers. So yeah, first time watch. There's the back, if you guys want to see. But let's go ahead and talk about The Innkeepers from 2011. So The Innkeepers is a 2011 American supernatural horror film written, directed, and edited by Ty West. Its plot follows two employees at the Yankee Peddler Inn who, during the last weekend of operations, attempt to document the alleged supernatural activity in the building. So in the final operating week of the Yankee Peddler Inn, a once grand hotel, Claire and Luke are the only employees working. Claire is an asthmatic college dropout, and Luke, owner of a website chronicling the hotel's supposed hauntings, are both ghost hunting enthusiasts fascinated by the hotel's haunted history. They were especially interested in Madeline O'Malley, a bride who hanged herself when abandoned at the altar and whose body was hidden in the basement by the hotel owners. Luke checks in an older woman whom Claire recognizes as Leanne Reese-Jones, a former actress. While delivering towels to her room, Claire is starstruck and has an awkward encounter with Leanne, who is initially cold toward her. The following night, while taking out the garbage, Claire notices Leanne watching from her room window and waves, but Leanne moves away from the window without acknowledging her. Claire hears noises coming from the hotel's garage, where there is a door leading to the basement. She padlocks the door and returns inside. She uses Luke's ghost hunting equipment to record EVPs in various places around the hotel. While recording, she hears faint voices and music and sees the grand piano in the lobby play by itself. So yeah, that's kind of the setup, the premise, the beginning of The Innkeepers from 2011. As far as the cast goes, we have Sarah Paxton as Claire, Pat Healy as Luke, Kelly McGillis as Leanne Reese-Jones, Allison Bartlett as Gail, the angry mom, Jake Ryan as the boy, and Lena Dunham as the barista. So yeah, that's the setup, the premise, and the cast for the 2011 Ty West horror movie, The Innkeepers. So looking at this case and everything, I was pretty stoked to watch this movie. And also, just kind of from what I've heard, that a lot of people think this is one of Ty West's better movies. So I was really excited to watch this and to hopefully enjoy it. So the question is, why didn't I? No, it's a mixed bag for me, if I'm being honest. The Innkeepers is a mixed bag. So let's go ahead and get into it, starting with the things that I liked about the movie. The movie definitely takes its time in setting up and developing the characters here to where we sort of can relate to them in some way and we like them, which a lot of horror movies don't do enough of that. They don't spend enough time on characters and kind of and giving you a window into who they are and where they've been and what they're doing and kind of what their goals and aspirations, if any, are. And this movie really takes its time in doing that. So I credit Ty West for that and really allowing us to get to know the characters. Speaking of the characters, the performance is put forth by specifically Sarah Paxton, Pat Healy, and Kelly McGillis. And really the whole cast, but those three specifically, those are kind of the three leads of the movie. I thought was really well done. I felt like they're real people. The characters are real people, and they brought a relatable quality to each of them that I think most people are going to be able to relate to. And so, yeah, I think all three of them really give their all in this movie. Sarah Paxton, who's the main cast member here, the story, we really see in a lot of ways, we see the movie from her point of view. I thought she gave a very strong performance. A very good performance, and but yeah, Pat Healy and Kelly McGillis as well. Good acting in the movie. The setting of this hotel is really cool with its own unique and original backstory that keeps the viewer engaged to see where things are going to go with it. But of course, all these haunted house kind of movies have their own backstory, have their own sort of, unique history, shall we say, about it. And they're all a little bit different, but in essence, they're all kind of the same too. Where in the past something happened to a good person, or what you assume is a good person, and then and then it's haunted from there. But this movie does a nice job of that. The movie does have a nice built up atmosphere through the different effects, the music, the sound design, and the camera work and direction by Ty West in this movie. That really helps to create an atmosphere that you feel, especially the second half of the movie. But really, this is kind of a comfort movie. I think this is a movie you can put on late at night in a thunderstorm, something like that. It just has a nice, quaint atmosphere, a cozy vibe and feel to it that I think really make it a watchable movie. And it's very competently made for not having a big budget. I thought that, again, Ty West really shows off his directing chops here, as well as his writing and editing as well. The movie's very competently made. So, yeah, those are kind of my pros, or the things that I like most about The Innkeepers from 2011. As far as cons go, it is a very slow burn movie. Not a lot happens the first hour 10 minutes of the movie. Other than the fact, like I said in my pros, we get to know the characters. We spend time with them. A lot of dialogue, a lot of talking about the hauntings that have taken place. Some different characters that come and go throughout the hotel this last weekend. But the first half of the movie is more of a quirky comedy with very little scares or horror. So it's a very much a slow burn in that regard. So if slow burns aren't really your thing, you're probably not really going to have the patience to get to when there actually is some horror in this movie. I stuck with it. Like I said, I thought that the characters and the writing and the chemistry between the characters was interesting and well done enough to keep me engaged, all the while waiting for the big payoff that I was expecting to happen. And speaking of that, my next con is I kept waiting for some intense, suspenseful horror here. And for me, it never really came in this movie. Outside of a few tension-filled scenes, a couple of jump scares here and there that were fairly effective in the third act, it just never really delivered on the promise that this case sort of shows me. I don't know, man. I'm not somebody, before people comment down below, well, you just don't appreciate slow burn horror. Not true. Not true. Some of my favorite horror movies, like The Shining and Ghost Story from 1981, are some of my favorite slow burn movies. But this one, I just didn't feel like, it just didn't give me enough to really bite my horror teeth into, so to speak. Even in the third act of the movie, when things really start to happen and things start to pick up, I just felt a little bit underwhelmed by this movie. So, yeah, I just have to be honest about that. The movie just sort of ends also without any real big climax or satisfying conclusion. Yes, I know that before the door slams shut, before the ending credits, that if you look close enough, you can see a certain character's what's the word I'm looking for? An outline of the character in the window. A silhouette, that's the word I was searching for. But I don't know, overall the movie just kind of, when something happens with a few minutes to go, then that's just kind of it. And then the remaining characters talk about, well, we should have done more, this or that, and then it just kind of ends. And I just wanted a bit more. I think when you have a slow burn horror movie, that's fine, but you got to have a good payoff. You gotta reward the viewer for staying with it for as long as they did. And I don't feel like this movie really did a good job of that. Unlike Ty West's other movie a few years before this, House of the Devil, I thought that movie hit the mark a bit better than this one did for me. I have to say too, I'm also not a fan of the chapter cards or the chapter titles that are used throughout the film. I just didn't feel like it was necessary. It really didn't add anything. I know some people like it because they can view the movie like a book then. where they, it's, different chapters, different parts of the movie. But I don't know. I felt that it's sort of it was more of a distraction than anything else. And then the movie's just overall, I've already mentioned this, it's just not as scary or unsettling as I was expecting from this cover or from what I've heard from other people. So I think the big reason, and I didn't write this down, but it's having slept on it, I think the big reason that this movie didn't work for me is it kind of starts out like almost like a comedy spoof, if you will, of like Ghost Hunters or a haunted house kind of movie. There's not a lot of serious tones going on. It's more playful, it's more light, with some comedy involved, which I guess with Sarah Paxton and Pat Healy, they both have some comedic chops to them. So, I mean, I guess that's not a huge surprise that Ty West would take advantage of that. But the problem is when you have that tone, and then when you actually do get into the horror, the last third or so of the movie, it just doesn't transition very well. So I think like House of the Devil, I don't remember that movie ever being silly. I remember it building up tension to where we finally get to the horror at the end. This movie really doesn't do that. I mean, it builds a little tension, but it's kind of taken away by some of the sillier, lighter moments here. And I don't know. I don't know. I just felt like the movie was sort of a missed opportunity in that regard. And I think that's the biggest disappointment that I have in the movie. It's like, what kind of movie do you want to be? I just think that there was an opportunity to build up tension and suspense a little bit more, that it would have paid off a little bit more in the third act, at least for me. From what, excuse me, from what it sounds like, other people were satisfactory with how the movie plays out. I just wasn't. I like slow burn haunted house kind of movies. I really do, and especially haunted hotel kind of movies. 1408 is one of my favorite movies from the last 20 years. So it isn't that. It isn't that I'm not a slow burn haunted house kind of guy. Actually, the opposite. I just think the movie wasn't as effective in that regard as it could have been, as I was expecting. Perhaps my expectations were a little bit too high going into the movie. But all that being said, I don't hate the movie. It's not bad or anything. I'm going to give The Innkeepers a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good haunted hotel kind of movie from the last 15 years. Not a great one, but a good one. But I think I was thrown off because everybody, at least a lot of the reviews I've seen, really praise this movie and think that it's one of the better haunted house movies. I'm not quite sure where they're coming from on that. I didn't get that. So to each their own, but 7 out of 10 for me for The Innkeepers from 2011. Go ahead and comment down below if you're one of those people that really love this slow burn horror movie, if it worked for you more than it did for me, or if you're kind of in the same boat as I am with it. Please like this video, hit the notification bell, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It would really help me out for the future content on my channel going forward. But with all that being said, I still got about 3 more modern horror movies to take a look at before the end of April here. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying these modern horror movie reviews as part of this series. And yeah, thank you for watching. And as always, stay scared. Bye.